I remember one time when I first started modeling, I asked somebody who was a model, how do you act on set? And she was like, oh, when I get on set, when I'm on set, I'm a I was like, okay. What it do, babies? It's your girl, Dora Owusu, back at it again with another video. So today I'm gonna be giving tips on how I feel I get booked and rebooked with brands and companies and how I act on set. These are just tips from my experience, you know what I'm saying? If somebody else told you different, somebody else told you different. If you do something else, you do something else. But I'm just gonna be talking about pretty much how I act on set and how I feel it helps me. And it could help you too. So without further ado, let's get into it. So my first tip is just to simply be on time. I feel like that's just being professional. Just because you're talented, just because you're a model or whatever, it don't mean that you can show up late and with your Starbucks or whatever looking cute. Nah, like be on time. I just think it's a respectful thing to do. How I make sure I'm on time, I always set my Waze. If you guys have the Waze app, I'll plan a drive that will make sure that I get there 15 minutes before my call time. So say my call time is 10 a.m., I'll put on Waze that I gotta be there at 9:45. Maybe if I'm running late, I'll get there at like 9:50 or so, but it's better to be early than late. So yeah, you know that rule where they say early is on time and on time is late? Yeah, I've really implemented that. And if you're running late, like if God forbid there's an accident on the freeway or something like that, I often will just like shoot a quick email and say, hey, I'm running a little bit late, I'm on my way, this is my ETA. So at least they know when to expect you and they're not just sitting around like, where is she gonna come? Like, what's going on? So yeah, that's tip number one. Tip number two would be to remember that there's always eyes on you. Like from the moment you walk in, people need to see like if you need to get your hair done first, your makeup done first, what you're gonna wear, what might look good on you. And on top of that, then there's BTS photographers sometimes, BTS videos sometimes. So there's those cameras on you. So it's just a reminder that you just kind of got to be professional at all times. That doesn't mean like, you know, not be yourself, but just remember that. Just keep that in mind that whatever you're doing, whatever you're saying could be heard, could be recorded. So just be careful. My next tip is to come prepared. And this means a couple of things. First things first, come shaved. I have had a couple too many mishaps where like I went to set and I was either my legs weren't shaved, maybe my bikini area wasn't shaved, and I ended up wearing a bikini or a skirt and I wasn't ready for that. Personally, I feel like if you feel good, you look good. If you look good, you play good. Or what is it? Wait. You look good, you feel good, you feel good, you play good. My bad. So if I feel like, you know, I'm covered, like my arms are shaved, my legs are shaved, my bikini area is shaved, I'm ready for anything. Like anything you throw at me, I'll feel comfortable because I know that I'm in the clear. Now, if you catch me by surprise, like that's another thing to have on your mind when you're taking photos. And honestly, when you're in front of the camera, you want to worry about as little as possible. You just want to worry about your pose. That's all you want to worry about. You don't want to be thinking, oh my gosh, is the hair gonna show down there or, you know, up here? Can I do this pose? You know what I mean? So just save yourself the trouble and be prepared in that sense. Another way that I feel you should come prepared is by bringing your own hair and makeup tools. And I know that there's a hair and makeup artist on set, and I know that hairstylists should be able to do all types of hair textures, and I know that makeup artists should be able to do all types of skin tones, but that's not the case. That's not reality. So when I go to set, I always make sure that I bring my foundation, concealer, powder, anything else. Those are the three main things that I have to have with me. All my complexion products. Like if it's good, if you don't got my skin tone color, listen. First of all, that makeup artist needs to up their kit. But second of all, you gotta have yourself covered. Because honestly, you're the one that's gonna be in front of the camera, not the makeup artist or the hairstylist. So in addition to that, I also do So in addition to that, I also do bring my hair tools. Like if I'm wearing a wig that day, I'll bring my Got2b spray, Got2b glue, maybe my headscarf. I'll bring, what else do I need? That's the main things that I need to lay my wigs down. If I'm gonna have some of my natural hair out, I'll bring my edge control. I bring my edge control brush, you know, things that I know that if all else goes wrong, I can go in the bathroom and do this thing myself, because that has been the case before. I have been on set where I've had to end up doing my own makeup because the makeup artist didn't do the best job, or I've had to go and do my own hair because the hairstylist didn't know how to work with my hair texture. Although they should, like I said, sometimes they don't, and you are the person that's going to be on camera. It's going to be your face. Nobody's going to know who else did it. So keep yourself covered so that you don't got to worry about anything else when you're shooting. Okay? All right. My next tip is to try to remember people's names when you're on set. I know that it's not easy to remember everybody's name, but if you've talked to somebody or had a conversation with them, try to remember their name. Or if you can't remember their name and you know what position they're in, oftentimes their names should be on the call sheet, and you can just sneak a peek to your email on the call sheet and see what their name is. And, you know, maybe when you're leaving, say, bye, such and such, bye, I don't know, Eddie, Veronica, I don't know, but just, you know, let them know. It's sort of a way to become more personal with somebody, you know, because I feel like sometimes people think that talent only cares about themselves, like only cares about talent. And I feel like by remembering somebody's name, as small as it may be, it just kind of goes to show that you care more about other things other than yourself, you know? My next tip is something that I really feel gets me booked multiple times. And this is something that's really personality based, but I like to talk to people. I like to talk to the hairstylist, the makeup artist, a PA, you know, a producer. I don't care. Like, I'll talk to you if, you know, I find you interesting or something. Like, if it happens to happen, I'm not just going to try to spark up a conversation all the time. Like, if somebody's doing my makeup, I don't like to just sit there. I like to know, like, how did you get into makeup? How did you get into hair? Like, I love hearing people's stories because I feel like the field that I'm in is not necessarily conventional. I know for me, I was almost gonna be in the medical field as a career, you know, and modeling is like completely different from that. So I often like to know, like, how did you get here? How did you get here as a creative? Especially if they're first generation, I love to see it because I know for me, my African parents wanted me to be a doctor, lawyer, engineer, or like, what are you doing? So, and I feel like that's the case in a lot of households, unless, you know, awesome to you if you got supportive parents that'll support your whole lifestyle career from the jump. That wasn't the case for me. So yeah, I love to talk to people. I love to know what their story is and how they got where they are. And if you're just not a talkative type of person, that's okay. You know, like if you're more introverted, that's okay. This is just something that I feel like helps me. And yeah, it just shows personality beyond the camera. My next tip is don't think that you know everything. You know, we all have something to learn from somebody. So like, say a makeup artist is about to touch your eyelids with an eyeshadow and you're like, no, that's not gonna work for me. Like, how you know? How you know it ain't gonna work for you? Maybe it even turns a different color, a more better color on your eyelids or something. That's a weird example maybe, but that's just what I'm saying. Like, you never know what somebody else's vision is, and it's just really not your place to stop them. Unless like you're allergic to a product and you know that you're allergic to that product, then yeah, obviously like stop them. But yeah, don't just assume that you know everything about everything and you just got it all figured out, because you don't. That's just the reality. And hey, I always go into shoots with the mindset that I can rock anything. I feel like if you're going with that mindset, you're gonna rock it. But if you tell yourself I ain't gonna rock it, then you ain't gonna rock it. So just go into it, you know, don't be like, I'm not gonna wear that. I'm not gonna wear that. Especially if they're paying you. I mean, if it's a creative shoot, then I guess like if it's, you know, you're a part of the team and you're not just the model and like you helped come up with the concept. But if you are a model on set and you see an outfit that you're like, I don't know, because I've seen some outfits and I'm like, I don't know, but some of them actually ended up looking good on me, it's not your responsibility to say no. Like, it's really not. And I feel like that's something that will actually never get you booked again with that brand, with that specific company. You just don't often go into shoots, paid shoots, having much creative control. You're there to do a job. You are there as a model. You are hired as a model. You're not hired as a wardrobe stylist or a makeup artist or a producer. So it's not your job to run the shoot. If that's what you want to do, then you got to plan your own shoot. But you're not the photographer either, you know? Like, you don't tell the photographer what to do. So nobody should tell you what to do unless they want a specific pose from you like that. I guess, yes. But as a model, it's really not your job to put your input in other areas. But if you're in a situation where you feel like you are absolutely like dissatisfied with the way you look, like it's just horrendous, because I do understand that this is, you know, it's still your face in front of the camera at the end of the day. Like, okay, for example, one time I did a shoot and honestly I was really unhappy with the makeup, but this was something where I didn't use my own makeup because it was a makeup shoot. So that was kind of like, what do I do? So I went on with the shoot. I powered through it. I did the best that I could, you know, with what I was given. And after the shoot, the next day or 2 days later, I was on the phone with my agent and I kind of ran it by her to ask her how she would deal with a situation like that. If like she was absolutely unhappy with the way that her makeup turned out on a shoot and if it was a makeup shoot. And she suggested that I next time just sort of be like, are you sure you guys like this makeup look? Like, are you sure you love this like eye? Are you sure you love this brow? Just like sort of just question a little bit just to get it sort of in their heads. And if they don't get that, then honestly, that's their image. It's their product and that's how they want to present it. That's how they're going to present it and that's what they're going to get. And if the people want to comfort them, then the people going to comfort them. But honestly, I feel like that's the greatest extent to what you can really do, especially for a paid shoot. It's not really our place to give like creative input. My next tip is if you absolutely feel uncomfortable doing something, don't do it. Like, honestly, if they want to show your titties and you're like, I'm not doing that, I'm not a titties girl, like, don't do it. Like, if they want you to eat something or do something you're absolutely uncomfortable with, like, if they want you to swim and you can't swim, you better not get in that water and try to swim. You know what I mean? Like, just be real, be honest. Don't even try it. If you know you can't nail it, don't do it. And if they want you to like I said, like show, if you feel like you're showing too much skin that you're not comfortable with, then absolutely speak up about it. Because at the end of the day, if it's a shoot like that, like, and if they still are trying to force you to do it, then that's not a brand that you even want to ever work with again. Like, absolutely don't. And I'm begging you, don't do things you're not comfortable with. If a photographer is making you uncomfortable, especially if it's a paid shoot, you know, try to like tell a producer. And if things still are not handled, then honestly, if you gotta leave that set, you gotta leave that set. That check is not worth it. If it's causing you your mental state, if it's making you feel real uncomfortable, I'm saying this time and time again, don't do it. Period. My last tip is to say please and thank you. It's so simple, but it goes a long way. If a makeup artist, wardrobe stylist, hairstylist comes to like touch you up, touch your face up, hair, you know, just say thank you. If you need something, like for me, if someone offers, say I need like some water or something, like somebody might offer to get some water for me, like, hey, do you want some water? I'm like, yes, please. You know, like just show gratitude. It goes a long way, and honestly, I feel like you should do this with everybody, even outside of set. But you know, since this is a video about being on set, like even it doesn't even matter what their position is, honestly. Like if they're a PA, if they're a producer, if they're the janitor, if they're, you know, it doesn't matter. Say please, say thank you, be polite to people. Like that's just simple common sense that is honestly not so common. Just be nice to people, you know. I remember one time when I first started modeling, I asked somebody who was a model. How do you act on set? I don't know. I think we were having a conversation about being on set, and she was like, oh, when I get on set, when I'm on set, I'm a I was like, she's like, I'm a diva. I was like, okay, like that's just not me. That's just not my personality. And so I just never act that way on set. You never know who's gonna get you your next gig. It could be the makeup artist, it could be the stylist, it could be the photographer, it could be a PA, you never know. It could be anybody. Treat everybody with respect, not just people who you think are at a high position, because you never know. And people talk, you know, people from lower levels and higher levels talk to each other, and you never know. If you was a bitch to somebody, you know, that you thought, you in your head thought wasn't that important, they may be the one that looking at the castings like, yeah, no. So treat everybody with respect. It's as simple as that. And that's all I got for you. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you like and subscribe for more. And until next time, bye.